Hey guys, welcome back and thank you so much for watching yet another Sims 4 speed build. So today I am building not a house, obviously, but a restaurant. And you probably got that from the title and the sneak peek trailer in the beginning of this video. But here we are, we have a beautiful restaurant, like inspiration to go off of. It's called the Abba Restaurant, and the original one was built in Chicago and they just came out with a new one in Austin, Texas. And I wish we had one here in California because oh my gosh, this restaurant is beautiful. And that's actually how I came across this restaurant. I was looking for the most beautiful restaurants around the world, not just the United States, but around the world, and this was on the list. It's again, Abba Restaurant. It's a Mediterranean style restaurant, but I just loved everything about it because the design reflects the chef's culinary roots in California. So it's drawing from California inspiration for the design, while the food reflects, you know, Mediterranean foods, Mediterranean cuisine. So like Israel, Lebanon, Turkey, Greece, those kind of things. So delicious food, but then you have this beautiful atmosphere. So very romantic. What more can you ask for? It's basically just very warm, neutral, earthy, and very luscious inside and out, with romantic lighting everywhere and an amazing patio view on the rooftop right here. So I just really wanted to try to see if we can recreate that in The Sims, and I was honestly surprised at how good it was looking. And so that is why, that's not why, but it's one reason why you didn't get to see me actually build this like from the first step. So you probably noticed, maybe you didn't, hopefully you didn't, but I'm telling you, so you're gonna notice. Maybe I shouldn't have mentioned anything, but yeah, this video started when I basically already had figured out the exterior of this build and like the overall vibe and the shell and the footprint and everything. So sorry about that, but I was actually having a lot of technical difficulties before starting this build, so I couldn't record anymore basically, and I still don't know why. And I wasn't sure if it was like my console or just like my hard drive that I used to record, but either way I couldn't record. So instead of building a house, I decided to build a restaurant because I didn't think that I was going to share that. But then I just loved it so much that I had to just stop building it and figure out how to record it and share it with you guys. So here we are, we figured it out. I can record again, yay. And hopefully you guys don't mind missing out on the beginning of this build because you get to see the most interesting parts of it at least. So there's my reasoning for not showing you the whole build, but here we are. It's coming together. The exterior, I think, is basically finished. I think I add some more minor touches here and there, but we're basically moving on to the interior, and the interior was actually inspired by the so I mentioned there's two restaurants. The Chicago one is the original location, so the interior is based on the Chicago location, and the exterior is based on the Austin location. So kind of weird, but of course they have similar vibes, and I just loved the interior of the original location with the glass roof and the glass lanterns hanging from the glass roof. So we did our best to mimic that, and this bar area, and overall just the whole inside of the Chicago restaurant was just beautiful. So that's what made me fall in love with this restaurant originally. So I had to do that, and then I stumbled on the exterior of the Austin one and then ran into all of those outdoor eating spaces and that outdoor bar. So There's lots of bars here, lots of different seating areas. I'm not sure if your Sims restaurant will be popular enough to actually fill all these seats, but at least, you know, your guests that visit will have plenty of options, and it's going to be a beautiful atmosphere, and it's going to be one of the top, you know how your Sims restaurants are like rated, like what you did really well on and what you can improve. Like the ambiance for this restaurant, at least when I was playtesting it, was like always like the number one thing. So we did good there. That's the goal, I guess. But yeah, in general, I was just really happy with how we were able to recreate this whole vibe from that I loved from the Abba restaurant. And it's coming together slowly but surely on the inside. But yeah, the hardwood floors again comes from the chef's like love of California design style, I guess you should say. I don't know. But it's very earthy and neutral. And again, he just wanted to bring all of that greenery from the outside onto the inside. So we have, even the restaurant, they have a few of these tree features. And like for Instagram, like if you search Abba restaurants, people always take selfies with this tree and the multiple trees that they have inside, just because it, when you're dining in there, it just feels like you're dining in a forest. Just it's so cool. I wish we had one here in California, like I said. But next best thing, we're recreating it in The Sims. So I had to put at least one of those tree features because that's one thing that I noticed and thought was really cool. So we definitely had to try to do it. And this tree, I feel like, was pretty on point. So again, just trying to recreate the atmosphere, adding lots of candlelight and light fixtures that kind of mimicked the vibe. And in the actual restaurant, there's lots of plants everywhere. So I did my best to use a variety of different indoor plants. And I only have those hanging plants from the new paranormal stuff pack, which I actually really love all of the items we got in the paranormal stuff pack. I almost didn't get it just because it's like paranormal, but then I saw all of the items and just I had to get it. For that hanging plant, for the couch, I love the new couch and the new chairs, and basically like all of the build items that came with it were so good, so I had to get it and love it. I used that hanging plant and a lot of the plants that came with that pack in this build actually. So that there's one thing. And yeah, just used a bunch of different mixtures of plants and also a good mixture of chairs. So that's one other thing I noticed from the Opera restaurants is there's not like one set dining chair and dining table, which I personally loved. I thought was really interesting. It basically just focused on like the same overall style, like neutral, earthy, natural chairs, and if that makes sense, if that's a thing. But yeah, there was variety, so it wasn't like just one standard like this is an Abba chair. It's like, you know, somewhat in the same color palette, and then it's good. It passes the check. We can have this chair. So that's what I did there. Oh, here I am. I'm just adding like a bike area to the outside right here. So this is like the Snowy Escape window thing. It's actually just like a window decoration. I sized it up and it looks like a bike rack. So I really wanted the outside. It felt too unbalanced. So I added like that whole planter area in the front on the right hand corner, and then it was better, but it still needed a little bit more. So I was thinking of adding like a parking spot, like a parking lot on the outside, but it just didn't make sense because of the lot. Like there was no way for the cars to drive up, and it's kind of pointless in The Sims because we can't actually drive cars. But our Sims could ride bikes. Like if you have Eco Lifestyle or Discover University, there's bikes, and you can they're actually functional. So I put a bike parking area on the outside and just put some bikes there just to make it look like, you know, maybe guests rode their bikes to the restaurant. I don't know if that's a thing, but it's more feasible than cars in The Sims, so it made more sense, and it had just added just like a little bit more of an interesting factor on the right side, because it just felt a little bit too unbalanced and too much going on the left side, not enough on the right side, you know. So felt like that was helped solve that problem a little bit. But here I am working on the restrooms. So I made of course, girls' restroom and boys' restroom on the other side of the hall, but just basically wanted there to be enough restrooms for convenience on both the first level and the second level. So there's 2 restrooms, like, you know, separate sexes on the bottom floor, because that's like the main dining area, and then on the rooftop dining space, there's just like one gender neutral restroom. But then the gender neutral, all of the restrooms actually have like separate stalls, so really I could have made them all gender neutral, but I didn't, so that's that. But yeah, plenty of restrooms, so you don't have to keep going up and down the stairs if you're like dining on the rooftop or dining downstairs. Wanted it to be convenient. And same thing with the kitchens. So I have 2 kitchens for your chefs. They're both downstairs, but one on each side. That way, I don't know, you can have 2 chefs once you build up enough points, and then the waitresses don't have to walk so far. That was, I think, one thing when I was playtesting this, is my chef, when I only had one chef, it was just on the far left corner instead of this main one on the right. I don't know why she wouldn't go to this one automatically, because it's bigger and it has a fridge and, you know, a few more things than the one on the left does. But anyways, she went to the one on the left, and it was a further walk because all of the guests were seated upstairs for some reason. So that was like one of their complaints, was that it was a long wait time. But once there were 2 chefs and, you know, 2 waitresses, then no issues at all. People got their food on plenty of time, and that's when our ratings started going up. But anyways, I'm not very good at like the actual gameplay and getting the ratings up very quickly, so you guys will probably be more successful. Your restaurant will probably be more successful than mine was. But just played it for a little bit to make sure that everything works, and it does. So I think one thing, and you guys probably know this, but one thing was, I expected that elevator to be like functional for the owners. I was gonna like lock it for if it was a thing, for the owners to only be able to access the rooftop, not the rooftop, but the 3rd story. So there's 3 stories in this restaurant. There's the main dining area on the 1st floor. The 2nd floor is like the rooftop dining. And then there's like a small, teeny, you could kind of see a glimpse of it, but a small, teeny, tiny, this area right here. That's for like the owner's space. So this is like their office and just like their hangout area when they're on site and need to get their like entertainment skill up or something like that, need to nap on the couches, you know how it goes. But this is the owner's area, and of course you can make it accessible to anybody if you wanted to, but that's what I kind of created this area for. And employees, because I ended up putting like a what are those things called, like the things that came with Snowy Escape, a vending machine, so the owners and employees could just buy quick snacks from there in the vending machine, and then you know, go upstairs and just hang out in the workers lounge. So that's that kind of vibe. I put a TV in there too, and this cute bar cart. I even put like a mini fridge and a microwave, because I felt like that would be here in real life. But yeah, I really liked how this office area turned out for like the owners and the employees. But the elevator, I was originally imagining this elevator would be fully functional, be able to take them all the way up to the 3rd story, but you guys probably know that's not a thing. You can only do that in the penthouses for some reason. I don't know why. But anyways, I made it functional by I left the elevator there on the bottom floor just because I loved how it looked in the accent color of the copper, but here I am just changing it to where there's like a ladder inside of this room, so you can lock it to be employees or household only, and then that'll limit the access there. And I actually love how it turned out even more, because then it's not just like a blank cube. It has those doors, and yeah, like how that turned out. But I'm basically coming to the end, so hopefully you guys enjoyed this speed build, and if you did, just leave me a comment, let me know what you think, give it a huge thumbs up, and subscribe for more videos like this. And until next time, enjoy the tour.